Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Today I'm going to talk about a little subject that I have found myself in more times than I'd like to admit, or just more times. It happens often. And so it's something that used to frustrate me so much. But I've learned over the years how to kind of get out of the funk and how to work around it and work with it. And these things really help and to get the process done and make it fun again. So today I'm going to talk about how to decorate when you aren't inspired. I love decorating and redecorating and decorating again. This house that we live in now has been decorated. I mean, every room has been decorated and redecorated more than a handful of times. Let's just be really honest. I'm always hunting for pieces and just out browsing things and, finding fun items at thrift stores. And so I'm always changing things around. And so it's a hobby, but yet it's also something that, I've made into this job that I get to do every day. And so there have been many times when I'm almost forcing myself to decorate or redecorate. And then at that point, I'm just not inspired. Nothing looks good. I don't like anything. I want to take everything out and just get rid of it and start all new. And there have been many, in like years past, there have been many times where I have just spent hours and hours in that space where I'm just not happy with anything and I'm trying to force it. And so, it doesn't work. It does not work. If that ever happens to you, I want you to try these things that work every single time for me. And literally it has taken me, it's like doing this over and over again. What's the saying? When you want to change things or something like, when you want something to change or different results, but you're doing the same thing over again, like, what is that? That's like the definition of ignorance or something. It's like I kept doing it over and over again, trying to force myself to do it without the results I was looking for. So these are things that really help me when I'm wanting to change things up, because I'm going to be completely honest, I get bored with the same things all the time. I get bored with the same look all the time. Sometimes I just need to change up like the hutch in our living room or just decorate a shelf a different way. I'm always, I don't know. I guess that's how my creative mind works. That's how I like to just change things up, because I just get bored. So if you want to change things up, but you're looking at your space, whatever it is, and you are not inspired and just nothing's working, try these things. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to stop. Literally stop. Like, don't force it. The forcing it is not going to make it any better. Forcing it is not going to get you a better look. Forcing it is just going to get you more frustrated and just tired and mad. I have been, and it's so funny because I totally know, it's like even when I'm decorating for a new season. So let's say Christmas rolls around and we pull all the Christmas stuff out, and then like the family room in our basement, that's kind of where everything ends up when we're pulling it out. And so the family room's full of Christmas items. And I can tell instantly now that it's either going to go well or I am just not in the mood and I am not feeling it and I have got to stop. So sometimes, some years, it's literally the day that I'm pulling out Christmas stuff. That's all that gets done is I pull out the Christmas stuff, because I know if I'm not in the mood and I'm not feeling inspired, and it's just going to go nowhere fast. So I stop. I literally stop decorating and I come back to it a totally different day. It just works. It just works. I know you may have a mess for a day or overnight or for 2 days or for a full weekend, but believe me and trust me, it's worth it. Just stop doing it and come back to it. Another thing I've done too is let's say I'm decorating, for 15, 20 minutes or something. And I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I'm not feeling any of it. No, I don't like any of this. I don't know what to do in this corner, on this shelf, whatever it is. I walk away. I'll go have lunch. I'll go, get a glass of water, walk around the yard, run an errand, do something with the kids, whatever it is. I will just walk away and come back to it in just an hour or 2 hours. It's not that you have to totally stop. I totally stop when I know automatically that it's just not the day for this. But sometimes I'm like in the middle of it, or I have, put 15 minutes in and I'm like, yeah, I just need a little bit of a break, because it's just not, I've kind of reached this part in the decorating process when I'm not feeling it and nothing's hitting me. So I just got to walk away for a little bit and then come back to it. There have been many times when I just removing myself from the room, from the space, from looking at a wall for, so long that, just taking an hour break, walking away from it, not being in it, not looking at it, and you walk back in and you'll see something that you've been working with, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to set that there and I'm going to put this there. It just helps. It just clears the brain and just gets you away from the same visual. And then you can come back in with a whole new, it's like you have just a whole new outlook, a whole new ideas, just all that. It just walk away for a little bit. Another thing I will do is window shop. So I will always tell people, whenever you're decorating for a holiday, a celebration, you're having people over, whatever it is, always shop your home first. Always, always, always. If it's a new season, I'm always looking around our house. How can I, maybe it's some throws or some throw pillows that I have that are more cozy for like fall and winter that I can just bring out. Candles around those times of year as well that you can bring out. Always shop your home first. But window shopping is something that Matt and I have done forever. And for those of you that are new or don't know, Matt likes to shop. Like, I married somebody that likes to shop sometimes more than I do. And I'm not kidding. If it's a thrift store, a yard sale, TJ Maxx, the mall, online, this guy likes to shop. So, and he always has. Since I've met him, it's kind of, they used to shop. Him and his family used to shop growing up, like around Christmas time. And so I married somebody that likes to shop. So one thing we will do, it's not always about buying things. We will window shop. So when I'm not feeling inspired, we'll get in the car and just go look at different stores, or, it doesn't even have to be that you have to go out and about. Just get in your pajamas and browse Pinterest, Instagram, online magazines, and just kind of window shop and browse and see if anything, sparks your creativity, sparks some inspiration. You do not have to buy anything, but just kind of getting out and about and just kind of seeing if something trips your trigger, walking around Target, it helps. That really, really, really helps. So another thing I do is, if you're out window shopping, if I find something that I just am like, oh my gosh, this is it. So that could be a new throw pillow, some art, something to hang on the wall. Maybe it's a rug, just a small piece, a vase that may have like a color or a design in it that really speaks to you. Just a small inspiration piece. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a whole new living room set or dining room table and chairs. I'm talking about something small. Maybe it's the outside of a candle, the way that it's designed, like the outside of the glass jar of the candle. Maybe it's a wood tone in a candlestick, or whatever it is. Buy that piece and bring it home. A small thing that does not cost a lot of money. It can set the tone for the entire room. Just that little piece can be the jumping off point and give you tons of inspiration to decorate an entire room. And sometimes when I buy something new like that, you can even go to a thrift store and find something. It's not even that you have to buy something, from a department store or from like a Target or anything. Head to your thrift store. See if there's anything there that speaks to you. But just bring home one new item or a couple of little items, whatever it is, and then if I can come home and decorate a shelf or a hutch or, something small, I just feel like it just gives me that push or that, it just makes it feel like, oh my gosh, this all looks brand new and it looks newly decorated. And it just those little pieces can make the biggest difference. So try that as well. If you're not feeling inspired when you want to redecorate. Here's a big one that I would suggest to anybody. And no matter what you're decorating, always start with a blank slate. So if you're going to decorate a shelf, maybe you have a shelving unit in your living room or something, and you want to redecorate that. Clear the entire thing out. If you want to redecorate the dining room, clear the entire dining room out. So from a small space or a small area to an entire room, clear the entire thing out. And I mean, clear the entire thing out. This may sound funny, but if you are going to use the same dining room table and chairs, right? Take them out. Then as you take everything else out of the room, but you know you're keeping the dining room table and chairs, then bring the dining room table and chairs back in without anything else in the room. So that would be like the bigger items. You know, you're going to use the sofa or like the 2 living room chairs, whatever it is. Take them out of the room, then take everything else out of the room, and then start by putting those bigger items back in that you know you're not replacing. It's amazing what just taking everything out, even the big items that you are going to still use, and then putting those big items back in that space without anything else in there. It just is like it's just like a new look, a new perspective. You have nothing else in there, but those bigger pieces. And then it'll just flow a little bit easier and new ideas will come to you. But definitely start with a blank slate, no matter what it is you're decorating. Remove whatever it is from that space or from that shelf or whatever it is and start with a blank slate. Another thing you can do, and this is really fun, is create a Pinterest board. So you can make this a secret board in your Pinterest account, but just start browsing. Just start looking to see what grabs your attention and just put it in a secret board. It's not a board that anybody else has to see. But, you know, if it's a bedroom, just title it Bedroom Inspiration. That's all you're looking for. And just browse Pinterest and anything that grabs your attention. Maybe it's a color or it's the way the bedding is or the chair they have in the corner, the dresser you really like, a mirror, whatever it is, put it in that secret board. And then, you know, do that for a couple of days. Just add things to that secret board and then come back to it and see what is, like the main theme. Is it the color on the wall? Like all the photos and that you pinned all had cream colored walls. Is it the bedding? All the bedding seems to be in this tone. And it's pretty plain. Or is it full of flowers? Is it a bright pink chair that you really like? You know, see what the common themes are in those pins that you put there, and then narrow it down, because those are the things that you're really drawn to, and those are the things you should be adding into that space that you're redecorating or decorating for the first time. Another thing you can do is ask someone else. So this can be your husband, your mom, your sister, a friend, a neighbor. It doesn't really matter who. But if you're just kind of in a funk and you can't put your finger on what to do next, you just don't know what it is, have somebody come in to just bounce ideas off of. They may say, hey, you know, put the bed over on this wall, something you've just never thought about. That'll just be the one little thing you needed to make everything else fall into place. Ask somebody else. You're just asking for their input. It's not that you have to do it. You're just looking for some outside influence or just some outside ideas that can spark something in you to get the entire space done. Another thing I love to do, go to like your local bookstores, Barnes and Noble, something like that, and just sit down and browse through books and magazines. I love doing this when the seasons change. I just love looking through magazines. Get a chai tea latte or an iced tea. Your favorite drink, and just give yourself an hour just to kind of browse through things. Take notes, take a notepad. Again, see what the trends are, see what's grabbing your attention. A lot of times when I'm going through those magazines, I will see things. So I like a lot of architectural salvage and vintage items or antiques, and but I like them mixed with newer items. And so just getting, you know, an idea for I'm trying to think of something I could give you, like a way to, Christmas is coming up as I'm recording this. And so like a way to display your vintage ornaments or your vintage Santa mugs or something, just like it just may spark something in your decorating that you weren't looking at or thinking about before. So, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to sit in a bookstore and kind of just be by yourself and browse the pages of some good magazines or books, and have your favorite drink or treat on the side, whatever it is. It's kind of a nice little time to yourself. Another thing I think is kind of fun is to go down memory lane. And this may sound funny, but what was once popular, it usually comes back. And that's in fashion and home trends. So there will be so many times when I'll show my mom something like I found like at a thrift store or a yard sale or something. And I'll say, isn't this going to look so cool hung here or whatever? And my mom will be like, are you kidding me? We did that in the 70s, or that was back in the 60s, or, or like when my mom sees clothes or something that are coming back and she's like, oh my gosh, that's what we used to wear back then. So think about, homes that you grew up around. Is it like your best friend in middle school? Was it your mom, your aunt's house, or your grandma's house, your aunt's house, a cousin's house or something? Think back to those houses, and you could actually get online, obviously, and look back at what they did back then, because there are so many things like mid-century modern that's really popular and coming back, and just some of the wood tones and accents right now that we're seeing, the caning on furniture and art, and there's just so many things that have a nod to earlier times, and so that might be a good way to kind of totally refresh what you were thinking and just put like a new spin on the style of the room or the space that you're redecorating. Next, look outside your comfort zone. So don't just stick to what you've done before, right? If you've never tried wallpaper, give it a try. If you want to paint like a bold color on an accent wall, do it. It's only paint. If you hated it, you can always paint over it. Maybe it's, you want to try, I do not have a green thumb. I sometimes wish I had a green thumb. Then I don't know. But, maybe you want to add some, live plants to your space, faux plants, just to add some natural elements. Don't always think that you have to stay in your lane, like what you've always done, what your house has always looked like. Think outside of the box. Step out of your comfort zone and do something a little bit different. And then it is, what is your style? So this is something you could ask yourself when you're just not inspired. Don't be, I think that so many people get, what I want to say, like they think they have to have a style. They have to know what it's called. I honestly, if you ask me what my style was, I would have to give you like 15 different descriptive words, because I don't think I fit in a box for a style for decorating our home. So there are definitely styles that I'm more drawn to than others, but yet I definitely have a mix of different styles. And I think knowing that helps you too when you're not inspired. Definitely knowing what styles you are drawn to, and you can mix styles. You do not have to be all mid-century modern. You do not have to be all farmhouse. You do not have to be all, bold and bright. Like, you can have a mix of all of those. If you do it right, it's just more an eclectic style, and there's tons more character when you do kind of mix and match some of those styles. But knowing kind of what you are drawn to and what you are not drawn to will help you when you're not feeling inspired. Like, you will know what to pay attention to and what not to pay attention to when you know what your style is, or what style you tend to lean towards. And lastly, let me just tell you this, and this was one I learned over years and years. Perfection is not the goal. Like, for years, I'm like, this has got to look perfect. If somebody comes in, I want it to look perfect and all there's a rhyme and reason for everything. No, not anymore. Not anymore for me. That just doesn't work. Perfection is something that it's not a real thing. So I don't know why we always strive for it, no matter what it is. In your life, there is no such thing. There's no such thing as perfection. So I don't know why we waste so much time and energy on it. But it's decorating, right? So you can live with something for an hour, 2 hours, 2 days, 1 week, and decide you don't like it and change it up, right? So it's not like it was kind of like I had to be decorating. Okay, I'm done decorating. And then we just have to live with it until I decide I'm going to change it up again. No. And a lot of times it's never that way for me. I will redecorate a hutch or a shelf area or a room. Then I'll leave it for a couple of days and then I'll decide, no, I don't like that. And then I'll change it. So the beauty of decorating is that you can change it. Nothing is like set in stone. So perfection is not your goal. You're trying to figure out how to live in your space, be proud of your space, and just make it look great and fit the style that's perfect for you and your family. So do not strive for it to be perfect because it never will be. And that's what I love about it because like I said earlier, I get bored. And so I want to change up the decorating or the function of the room or how we're living in it, or I think we need one more seat here or whatever it is. And so I just love changing things up all the time. So perfection, it's not even a thing. So don't strive for perfection in decorating your home. Okay. Those are the things that help me when I am not feeling inspired to decorate my home, and I'm decorating and redecorating all the time. And so these things really have helped me. And because I have been there when I get so frustrated and I really want to change things up, or I really want to redecorate, or Christmas is right around the corner and I got to get the house ready, but I'm just not feeling it. And that can last for days. Like I just will not feel it. And I say that to people and they're like, what? Really? Yes, a lot of times, like especially when the holidays roll around, because you're just bringing out so much other stuff and then trying to rearrange the things because we don't live in a big home and we don't have a ton of storage. And so just trying to incorporate those things here and there in the spaces that we're living and using every day, just like everybody else. It's just sometimes I'm just not feeling it. And so these ideas and tips definitely help. So I'm hoping these help you. If you have any questions or any thoughts, please let me know. But if you are redecorating or decorating a new space, and you're not feeling inspired, try some of these things. And I would love to know if they worked. So, okay, until next time, guys. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.